Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a crazy day of free agency talk, y'all. I was expecting Kawhi to sign with the Lakers by now, so I'm going to take this off. I have all my props set up right behind the camera, y'all. You can't see them, but we have a lot of people and players to talk about, y'all, that just went down. So I think to start, we're just going to go down the order of all the notable free agents that have already signed with teams, y'all. This has been one of the craziest days I can remember in sports history. Yo, we have had so many key players sign with teams in the last 3.5 hours, y'all, that free agency open. I'm going to go down each one and give you guys a brief summary of what I think of it. And, by the way, we're going to do many more free agency videos, much more in-depth ones. We're going to do one on the Nets. We're going to do one about the Jimmy Butler situation. We're going to do one about the 76ers. We're going to do one about the Pacers. We're going to do one about the Lakers once Kawhi signs. So there's a lot to go over, y'all, so just ride with me. There's just a brief overview of what has happened so far. Start things off, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant both signed to the New York Knicks.
Somehow, some way, I'm just trying to just hold it together, you know. Lifelong Knicks fan.
I was being prepared to say that for the past 4 months, y'all. I've been preparing for this day to say the New York.
A few moments later.
They signed with the Brooklyn Nets, yo. Both got max deals. Going along with them is DeAndre Jordan. Yo, I think this is a very interesting move. Granted, they're not going to do anything next year. Kevin Durant is out for the entire NBA season because of his Achilles injury. Kyrie Irving leading the way, though. Obviously, I think he's a better point guard than D'Angelo Russell. Will he fit better there, y'all? I don't know. I think DeAndre Jordan is a solid pickup, especially how much of an upgraded season he had last year. He played very well for the New York Knicks. He played very well for the Mavericks as well. I'm excited to see what the role players can do, like Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, Joe Harris. I think Kyrie can help this team raise them to the next level. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. I just don't know if this team will be able to get out of the first or second round. They're not better than Milwaukee. They're not better than Philly, who just got Al Horford, who I'll talk about in a little bit. So where do they rank? I don't think they're better than the Pacers. The Pacers made a lot of solid moves today, y'all. So I don't really see them making that push just yet. But we'll see what happens, how Kevin Durant comes back, y'all. But obviously, probably the biggest news story so far. Next, from what we've heard, can be true, can be not true. But it looks like Klay Thompson signed a 5-year max deal with the Golden State Warriors once again, y'all. We all really saw this coming. Nothing too big about this, y'all. He will be back in about March or February, from what we've heard from multiple sources. So it looks like the Warriors are going into the season with their starting backcourt being Quinn Cook and Steph Curry. Next, we got Tobias Harris signing with the Philadelphia 76ers, y'all, for a 5-year, $190 million contract. 180, my bad. I think this is a good pickup for the Sixers. Obviously, the Jimmy Butler news came out just a couple minutes ago. So obviously, they knew they were losing Jimmy Butler. I think they really wanted to keep it one of the two. I think Tobias is a great fit around Ben Simmons. And I think he's a consistent shooter enough to keep this team in contention to win the Eastern Conference next season. When they were only a Kawhi buzzer beater away from going to the NBA Finals, in my opinion, it would have beaten the Bucks and probably would have beaten the Warriors if they were so banged up like they were against the Toronto Raptors. Next, we have Kemba Walker. Obviously, we heard on Saturday that this was going to happen. Kemba Walker signed a 4-year max deal with the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics obviously needed to replace Kyrie Irving in the loss of Al Horford. I don't know how this team's going to do, yo. I don't know how much of a better fit Kemba Walker is for this team, being someone who averaged 21 shots a game last year, the most by any point guard in the league. I think what they're going to try and do is implement Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in the rotation and in the offense more like they did in 2018 when Kyrie went down. Because last year, Jason Tatum obviously had a sophomore slump year. I expect him to average a lot more shots this year and be a lot more involved in the offense. When at points last year, you saw Kyrie take a lot of ISO situations late in games, really just took the flow out of the team and really didn't get Tatum any moments where he could be consistent, y'all. Next, we have Chris Middleton signing a 5-year, $178 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. We all expected this. Like I said, I think Milwaukee's going to greatly improve themselves after losing in 6 games to the Toronto Raptors last year. I remember listening to Giannis' MVP speech last week, y'all, and it just sounded like someone who I know is going to work on his game so much this offseason, y'all. And I expect him to be the number 1 seed again and possibly make it to the NBA Finals for the first time since the Kareem days with the Big O. Next, we also saw Kristaps Porzingis sign a 5-year deal with the Dallas Mavericks. We all saw this coming, y'all. Kristaps Porzingis did not play a second last year in the NBA due to his injury. I'm excited to see what he can do with Luka Doncic. The Mavericks are one of the 4 teams left in the league with over $20 million in cap space. I'm interested to see what they do with that. I'm interested to see if they go out and get Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley has the same agent as Luka Doncic. So if they can possibly pair those two up together, I think they're in store for possibly a playoff season, y'all, which would be the first time since 2013, if I had to make a guess, y'all. Next, we have Nikola Vucevic re-signing with the Orlando Magic. This player honestly had a very good season last year, was an all-star for the first time in his career, was the best player on the Orlando Magic, got them as a 7th seed in the Eastern Conference and lost in 5 games to the Toronto Raptors. I really like what he does, yo. He's a great playmaking big man. He can score the basketball in the post, he can rebound very well, and he can be a very solid defender at times. I think this is going to really help the Magic, and they did bring back Terrence Ross, did sign out Farouk Aminu. I'll talk about that in a little bit, yo. I'm impressed with what the Magic did this offseason, especially to start so far. I think they're really going to try and improve Markelle Fulton, his shooting, and implement him into the rotation. So, shout out to the Magic one time they're doing things, yo. Shout out to Ty Cat one time. Next, we had Harrison Barnes sign a 4-year, $88 million contract with the Sacramento Kings. I'm impressed with this, yo. I think the Kings are going in the right direction. They did sign Luke Walton, so that kind of took them, a step back in a sense. But I like the roster that they have. De'Aaron Fox had a great sophomore season last year. I expect him to be very consistent again next year. I really like Buddy Hield there as well. I'm interested to see what this team can do, yo. They finished as a 9 seed last year in the Western Conference. I really like this move. And Harrison Barnes, still a bucket getter, can give you 20 points a night. Very solid pickup, yo, and way to re-sign with the team. Next, we got Terry Rozier signing with the Charlotte Hornets, finally getting his opportunity to start somewhere. Yo, this might be the worst team in the league. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
50 fuck all, living in 10.
I like Terry Rozier. I would have taken him on the Lakers if they don't get Kawhi, but this team sucks. They lost Jeremy Lamb, they lost Kemba Walker, the 2 guys that could drop 20 points. Where's the scoring gonna come from? All they have to do is put their best defender on the team on Terry Rozier when you play the Charlotte Hornets, and who's going to score? Is Bismack Biyombo going to give you 20? Is Frank Kaminsky going to give you 20? Is Nicholas Batum going to give you 20? Is Michael Jordan with the really, really ugly looking jeans going to give you 20? Who is giving you 20 points on that team, yo? They might win 9 games next year. They might go 9-73. Next, we had JJ Redick signing with the New Orleans Pelicans. Yo, I think this is honestly a very good pickup. As much as I want to rip on the Pelicans and the young core that didn't do anything for the Lakers last year, I'm going to be honest, y'all, they got an interesting team. They do have an interesting team. The big problem of concern going into free agency was the Pelicans had no shooting. They went out and signed one of the best shooters in the league in JJ Redick. So, you got to give him credit where credit is due. Obviously, JJ Redick being a veteran does not have a lot of time left. He obviously sees something there in New Orleans, and I'm excited to see what Zion can do, yo. We're going to have plenty of videos on Zion and the Pelicans before the season starts in a couple months, or like 4 or 5 months, but like 3. But I'm really excited to see what Zion can do. I'm really excited to see how Lonzo can implement JJ Redick into the offense. I think they're going to be a very exciting team to watch. 11 seed at best. Next, we have Malcolm Brogdon signing with the Indiana Pacers. Obviously, we knew the Pacers always wanted a solid point guard where they could go to. Malcolm Brogdon, a 4th year. Is he going to be a 4th year player already? Or 3rd? 3rd or 4th year player. I think it's his 4th year. Malcolm Brogdon, who won Rookie of the Year. Had a couple injuries to end last season. Did come back in the second round against the Celtics. Played very well for them. I think this is going to help Indy a lot. I think Oladipo is supposed to be back in December or January. I believe this is a solid team, yo. They really got a lot of solid pieces, yo, and I think this is their year to make a run at the Eastern Conference playoffs, yo, and make a push towards the finals. We saw in 2018 they won 7 games with LeBron. We saw last year they got swept by the Boston Celtics. Obviously, Victor Oladipo missed the last 4 months of the season. He's recovering pretty well, yo. They did lose Bojan Bogdanovic to the Utah Jazz, which I'll talk about real quick. But like I said, I'm very impressed on what the Pacers are willing to do and what they've been able to do this offseason so far. Next, we have Jonas Valanciunas signing with the Grizzlies. I think... Why am I talking about the Memphis Grizzlies if it's not Ja Morant? Next, we have Brook Lopez re-signing with the Milwaukee Bucks. You guys obviously know I want him on the Lakers. Very consistent three-point shooter, especially for a stretch big like him. He really helps Giannis. He's a perfect big man for Giannis' game. Very solid pickup, and I'm glad that he's back in Milwaukee. They can obviously make it to the NBA Finals next year, y'all. We got Derrick Rose signing with the Detroit Pistons, yo. I'm excited about this. He finally got a lot of money, 2 years, $15 million. I wish he went to a contender. I feel like a contender could have offered him that type of money. But hey, he got his money. I hope he does well, yo. I think Blake Griffin is going to have another great year like he did last season. A lot of people underlook that because he did get hurt towards the end of the year and did miss part of the first round, which he really shouldn't even played in at all. But I hope Derrick Rose starts. I hope he gets a lot of minutes, yo, because he honestly had a very solid year last year off the bench. Next, Rudy Gay signing with the San Antonio Spurs. Re-signing, 2 years, $32 million. Whoopee. Next, we have Julius Randle signing with the New York Knicks. Also, Taj Gibson is going there with him. I think Julius Randle is a solid player. I think he can give you 20 points a night nowadays, maybe 19 to 20 next year. For the Knicks, he'll be the first scoring option, what it looks like, maybe him or RJ Barrett. I'm excited to see how RJ Barrett works with Julius Randle, yo, if they can work on a pick and roll together, if Julius Randle can work on his defensive game. I think it's a solid pickup, yo. Obviously, the Knicks struck out. Their envision was Zion, Kyrie, and Durant. Now they got Taj Gibson, Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett. Next, we got Ricky Rubio signing with the Phoenix Suns. I feel like this is kind of a disappointment. We thought the Phoenix Suns might get D'Angelo Russell, maybe Terry Rozier. We always thought there was a possibility where the Suns could land a big-name free agent that's a point guard, maybe even Kemba Walker. We thought Kyrie could get traded there a couple years ago. Getting Ricky Rubio is kind of a disappointment. I think Devin Booker, I feel bad for him. I don't know where this team is going to succeed ever in his career. Booker, if you guys do not win over 22 games next year, please request a trade, bro, because you deserve a lot better. You deserve a player like LeBron James on your team. Like I said, we got Terrence Ross re-signing with the Orlando Magic. Very solid fit, yo. I love Terrence Ross. I think he's a solid bench player. I think he can give you double-digit points each night. Very versatile, very athletic, a consistent shooter. I like him, yo. Next, you got Bojan Bogdanovic signing with the Utah Jazz. Solid pickup. Great shooter. Averaged over 28 games when Oladipo went out. I like it, yo. Next, this is a huge one. We have Jimmy Butler getting a sign and trade to go to the Miami Heat, yo. Now, look. I don't know what Jimmy Butler's mind or his process was with this signing, yo. But I do know Florida has no state income tax. And I know that's about it. They might make it to the playoffs and lose in the first round. Kind of boring. And finally, we have Al Horford signing a 4-year deal with the Philadelphia 76ers deal. I expect them to start Al Horford. Possibly a lineup of Ben Simmons, the point guard Smith off the bench. I forget his name. Maybe that's it. Small forward Tobias Harris, power forward Al Horford, and at the 5, Joel Embiid. Solid pickup, yo. I'm kind of shocked that he went from the Celtics to the Sixers, especially how much Sixers fans hated him after all those no calls that he got guarding Joel Embiid. But yeah, yo. Any updates for tomorrow? I think D'Angelo Russell's probably going to go to the T-Wolves.
2 hours later.
The woman that I would try is happy with a good guy.
I think Kawhi's still going to the Lakers, y'all. Gonna definitely shoot a prayer up to God for that for the 30th time tonight. But I hope you guys should video. That was a lot to talk about. But like I said, we have more videos coming about each situation I think is important. And yeah, that's what I got, y'all. Stay blessed. All love to 19. Thank you so much for the love support. If you're outside this thing, y'all, free agency in the flesh. So many voice drops coming around. I'm out this thing, y'all. Peace. Fam, I spent so much money on all these accessories and stuff. If the Lakers do not land Kawhi, I might shed a couple tears. I'm out this thing, y'all. And that's it. Toronto.
Shut the fuck up. Kawhi's on the way. No matter what y'all give him, bitch, he ain't gon' stay. Gangsta walking, throw gang signs, that's how I play. And fuck whoever made me third team All NBA.